Boom! What's up, you guys? Welcome to another members exclusive video. In this one, we're going to be talking about the AI phenomenon that is Palantir. Palantir has already been one of our best trades of 2024 over Waves Capital. And when you take into account everything that we're about to discuss, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it actually solidify its place as our best trade of 2024. So, is Palantir going to keep this up? Is Palantir going to keep making waves? Are we going to get that beloved two-wave pattern? Are we going to get a hype cycle? Is Palantir going to experience its Nvidia moment? That's what we're going to talk about. So let's kick it off by quickly reading over this article. Nvidia moment likely near, says top investor about Palantir stock. And then we'll dive into the charts and I'll kind of give you guys my short, not going to go into long-term right now because who knows what happens if a hype cycle actually does hit. But I'll talk real short-term, talk about what I think could pan out over the rest of this week, and then maybe going into the end of October, even early November. Because again, if a hype cycle does hit, if we really do get a classic two-wave pattern, if we really do get that hype cycle that I've been implying, then things could happen super fast. And again, a lot of times the technicals don't even matter. Even rationale doesn't matter much. You just want to make sure that you're positioned and you're ready to ride the waves that hype cycle may provide. Okay, so I did feature this. Again, I assume the majority of you who are watching this are subscribed to the newsletter, so it makes it easy, it makes it nice to kind of be able to reflect on the newsletter that I wrote that morning, just in videos like this. Okay, so I stumbled across this article this morning, and I can confidently say that I feel the same. I share very similar sentiment to this article. Okay, so forgot to highlight this, but it's chill. We're just keeping it casual, so I'll just highlight this here. Okay, all right. Well, guess not here. Let's actually zoom in here. God, I hate websites like this that just barrage you with ads. It makes me not want to buy the ads. When I see ads like this, it makes me so actively want to stay away from the products that are being advertised. I freaking hate them. Okay, so could Palantir be the next AI-inspired growth story to follow Nvidia's footsteps? Top investor James Ford thinks it just might be. Palantir's unique technology, large addressable market, and potential for margin expansion position it similarly to Nvidia's pre-AI revolution phase, writes Ford, who sits in the top 4% of all tip ranks stock pros. Ford acknowledges that opinions on Palantir are divided, noting that traditional metrics could indeed suggest that the big data analytics company is overvalued. And I'll reiterate why I feel the same. And I actually share very, very similar sentiment, if not near identical sentiment to this Ford individual. First time I've heard of him. That's a pretty good track record if he's in the top 4% of all tip ranks pros. Okay, anyway, believing that Palantir stock triple-digit growth over the past year may be far from reaching its peak. Gotta love that too. Barrage me with ads and then just straight up go black on me. I feel like I've never even had that happen. Tip ranks. I mean, maybe if this guy's in the top 4% of tip ranks pros, I don't know, because tip ranks is kind of blowing it. Anyway, with the potential price target of $100, Palantir could more than double, reflecting its unappreciated potential and substantial market opportunity, writes Ford. Okay. Ford describes the number of similarities between Nvidia in 2020 and Palantir at present to support this bullish outlook, such as a unique technology, a mammoth potential market, and the ability to grow its margins dramatically. Like Nvidia, Palantir has been waiting decades for this moment, argues Ford, adding that Palantir's ability to help organizations create digital assets from real-world business models positions it perfectly to unleash the full power of AI. Okay? Not going to read further. If you guys want to read the remainder of this article, you can pause it, give that a quick read. But I think you get the point. I share this sentiment, you guys. Actually, this morning, Palantir's CTO, their chief technology officer, had an interview on CNBC that I was listening to, and he was kind of just reiterating all of the bull art. Obviously, he's their CTO. He's gonna present a bullish argument for his own company, but he sounded real confident. He sounded very concise and articulate, and really laid out the game plan for Palantir moving forward, and really explained. Obviously, it's a CNBC interview, so he didn't get super technical, but he did a good job with the time he had at kind of just explaining their advantage, not only from a technological perspective, but from just like a market positioning perspective as well. They have a massive first mover advantage in the space that they're in, and in a sense, they monopolize this weird little subgenre of the AI ecosystem with the technology that they provide. Very unique company. Unique companies are perfect candidates for hype cycles and good old two-wave patterns. So let's talk about it. Again, as you saw here, Palantir Technologies reached a new 52-week high today. You love to see that. Palantir looking absolutely amazing on the charts. If you guys watched the recent Sunday Stock Watch video I recorded, I talked about how Palantir had just broken and closed a weekly candle right above this prior line of support. Yesterday on Monday, we saw a little sell-off across the market. That did shake up Palantir as well, but clearly proved to be an amazing buying opportunity. And right now, call options are going ballistic again over Waves Capital. If you guys aren't members, if you guys want to trade with us on a daily basis, again, I have to assume most of you are already subscribed to the newsletter. But if not, it's going to be the first link in the description. Sign up, join the team. We've been making waves. And again, as we just alluded to, I think that with Palantir, Veritone popped off as well today. AI did us really well. Apple puts sharked up more of those. I'm still very, very suspicious about Apple, especially with the hurricane coming. And I'm just reiterating what I said in the newsletter. With the hurricane coming, you guys, with the Fed minutes coming out tomorrow, with the September CPI report coming out on Thursday, I'm definitely hesitant on the ability for this macro rally to sustain itself. I do think that we see a significant sell-off. Whether it's if it's not tomorrow, then it's probably going to be Thursday with the CPI report. It's very difficult for me to believe that the S&P 500, which Palantir is a part of, so keep that in mind, that like the SPY and the NASDAQ continue to climb and continue to rally to new highs. It's just there's the tech again. The Fed cutting rates is really the only strong fundamental bull argument to be made. And if either of these events over the next couple of days, again, the Fed minutes, which is tomorrow, or the September CPI report, kick it in the shins at all, then things could come down and they could come down really, really quickly. Okay. Especially considering the climb over the course of September, and October's been rough, but September we climbed so much. Again, the higher you climb, the harder you fall, and you fall a lot faster than you can climb. I want to reiterate that quickly. Okay. So that aside, I guess that's a little disclaimer. Just proceed with caution. We took a lot of profits over Waves Capital today. That's what, again, even though I think Palantir is still going to climb and could potentially see a hype cycle. Again, maybe we do see 50, 60, 70, 80, the big 100 hit triple digits at some point in 2024, at some point throughout the holiday season. It's still possible that we see a short-term pullback. So we're looking really good, you guys. I'm going to be straight. We are not looking overbought as far as one-day RSI. Let's go to 4-hour RSI. Not overbought here yet. 4-hour stochastic RSI curling up. Everything is looking incredibly bullish. I feel like there's no chance in my mind. Yeah, the technical is strong buy, of course. I do want to point out while we're here, Palantir sitting at a market cap of $93 billion, a PE ratio of 204, which is absolutely bonkers. That literally changed just since this morning, which is weird how it went down. Where was it? Palantir is the first one. Okay, so Palantir, PE multiple of 235, but their fundamental growth. So Palantir trading at an astounding and a ridiculous PE multiple of 235 as of today. Again, it's weird because they closed higher, that the PE multiple went down as this refreshed, but whatever. That had to have been from yesterday prior to this rally. As the article above, but their fundamental growth is equally as astounding and ridiculously impressive as well. Okay, so as I'll just reiterate this because it's important, obviously portrays my beliefs. As the article above alluded to, this article that we just read over, I think Palantir will experience a legitimate hype cycle at some point in Q4. I don't know if it happens this week, next week, or after their earnings report in early November, but I do know that I'll be ready to ride the waves once if it does. And as I said earlier, you guys, it's not necessarily about playing this perfectly. it's not about, beating yourself up for not having 10, 18 contracts like that saw 300% gain today instead of my November contracts that only saw 50, 60, 70, 80% gain. It's just about being ready. Okay. Because once things happen, once that first domino falls, they fall fast. Okay. Once and if a hype cycle does hit, again, it's not about playing it perfectly. It's not about beating yourself up for not playing it perfectly. It's about just being ready and being pumped that you got on the train in time. You got on the board in time to catch the waves. We'll stick on theme here. Okay. So Palantir, as far as technicals are concerned, as far as the short term is concerned, we don't look overbought just yet. I do think that, if we don't get a massive wrench thrown into just kind of the macro over these next couple of days, which again is possible, but even, to be completely honest, you guys, even if the S&P and NASDAQ do sell off, even if some of this inflationary data and this Fed speak does catalyze a sell-off across the markets, I still think Palantir is going to be a diamond in the rough, as I've been calling it for months now. I think Palantir can continue to outperform the majority, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us ultimately test Palantir's prior all-time high of $45. Before I talk about these targets, I will say, you know what? I'll talk about this target, and then we'll zoom out and talk about what could happen in the week ahead. In the short term, I do think Palantir rallies were so close to my target already, and as we zoom out, it'll make sense why I even have this line drawn here. We're about 1.5% away, just shy of 1.6% away as of close from my initial target of just above $42, from $42.10. Okay. I do think that maybe we open the day tomorrow by testing this, maybe even in pre-market, just test this. If we do, I will be taking immediate profits, further profits from my Palantir position, because ultimately I do think that at some points, hey, maybe we rally to $45 first. Maybe we rally to $60, $70 first before retesting this line. But at some point, I do think that this prior line of resistance is going to be retested as new support. Okay, say we rally up to $42, right? $42, I think shortly afterwards, we pull back, 3.5-ish% to retest this prior line of broken resistance as a new support. That is where I would repurchase shares. So I plan to take pretty significant profits around $42, wait for a 3-4% pullback, repurchase the shares that I just sold off, lock in those profits, repurchase the shares at a cheaper price, okay? And lower my overall cost basis. Okay, I'm not going to sell all my shares, but I probably will sell 30, no more than 50, but probably between 30 and 50% of my position once we see $42 or climb another, percent or two. Okay, so that's just kind of my short-term game plan. Again, if a hype cycle does hit, then it's entirely possible that we just blow through that $45 price target. But again, there are macro headwinds. Another thing that's I will say is worrying me a little bit as far as the short term is concerned is the fact that volume, even on a day like today, was well below average. And just to reference Apple really quick, that's something that I like to see as a bear in Apple as well. You can see Apple's average volume is 55 million. Today, we only traded 30 million shares. It's like 50% of average volume was traded in Apple today. So that makes me increasingly confident in the fact that this rally cannot sustain itself and that the bears do ultimately win this battle. Okay, so that's Apple. Palantir at the similar, nowhere near close to 50% below its average trading volume. It's right underneath it. It's just, like 5% below its average trading volume, 10% to be a little more exact. But it's still possible that we blow through all of these price targets I have. Again, if the hype really hits, if the momentum and the mania hits, which I do think, once again, will happen at some point in Q4. Maybe not this week, maybe not next week, but I do think it happens at some point. You just want to be ready. Okay, so be ready to take profits. Be ready for a short-term pullback. Be ready to purchase more calls if you believe. If you share similar sentiment to everything that I'm saying right now, just be ready. I'll just stay on your toes, you guys. Just stay on your toes. Keep everything I just said in mind. Keep it on your own charts. Keep an eye on your own price targets, and be ready to capitalize. And if we don't get that short-term pullback, be ready to enjoy the ride. Let's just zoom out quickly here. I'll show you why I have these listed. You can see here back when Palantir broke to its prior all-time high back in January of 21. This is a level that came into play right here, this $42 level, okay? You can see this acted as a bounce. Let's go to 4 hours, see if we can zoom out more. Yeah, you can see right here. So these, you can say it was like a little above, or right here, sorry. $42, that's the only candle wick prior to, we didn't even get a closure around these areas, but as far as 4 hour candles are concerned, definitely daily candles. We got a candle wick at $42, and then we got that final candle wick at Palantir's all-time high of $45, okay? So keep in mind, you guys, there probably is going to be some resistance, especially because we're close to approaching. Let's go back here, and we'll just stay here for the remainder of the video. We are close to approaching overbought levels on RSI. Again, those don't matter much in the case that we do break to new all-time highs and a hype cycle does hit. But for the 20th time, stay on your toes, keep an eye on the price targets. Don't get greedy, lock in some profits. Again, we've already done so well with this position over the past couple of months that at this point, I'm really just appreciative of all the profits that are coming and just stoked on the life-changing gains that they're providing. But I just want you guys to feel the same. Regardless of if you think Palantir is going to $100, just skim 10% of profits off of your position every rally we get. Because again, every day that this continues to climb, if we do get that two wave, if we do get a hype cycle, the likelihood of a pullback that leads to a cascading pullback becomes higher. Every day we continue to climb, we continue to get more overboughts, and the likelihood of a pullback in the short term becomes higher. So just always remember that. Exciting times. I'm excited for what's to come. Yeah, I look forward to talking to you guys in the comments about Palantir, about Veritone, whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's chop it up downstairs. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, guys.